Good evening, everybody. This is John, the Sea Monkey Dude, and today I actually want to talk about feeding sea monkeys. Just talk about some of the things I've learned and some of the stuff I've discovered recently, and tests I've done over the past couple years and what's working for me. People always ask, "What do you feed your sea monkeys?" So I've got lots of sea monkey aquariums, right? So I've got the one really huge one that you guys have probably seen in some videos, and then lots of standard sea monkey tanks, ocean zoos, the mini worlds, superset, the smess, and all sorts of other ones. So simple answer, I feed them sea monkey food for the most part, right? So all of the regular sea monkey tanks, the officially licensed tanks, that I buy online or from Trans Science, I feed them regular sea monkey food, the sea monkey growth food, or sometimes some of the other ones. So you guys have probably seen sea monkey growth food, packet number 3, right? Looks like this. Uh, this is good. They like it. It helps them grow. There's salts added to it, and so that helps, slowly raise the salinity over time or maintain it. Should you spill a little bit. I think some of you guys have probably seen salt crust, on the lids and stuff of our aquariums. Well, that salt's coming out of the water, and it should be replaced. So if you're feeding them Sea Monkey brand foods, I think they've all got salts in them, so that helps with that. And this food is specifically designed for sea monkeys. It's got what they need in it. I'm not a marine biologist. I'm not a dietitian or an animal dietitian. I don't know exactly what all nutrients they need to survive and to thrive, but I'm assuming that the guys that have been selling these sea monkeys for 60 plus years now have done a little bit of research and have found out, what they need, and they're putting it in this packet. So I use a whole lot of this stuff. I've bought tons of it, and I'm very thankful to people in this community that have gifted me some. There's a lot of people that have more growth food than they need. I'm in the opposite situation where I've got more sea monkeys and need more growth food. So thank you. You guys know who you are who have sent me growth food packets. I go through a lot of this stuff. I go through so much that I don't like scooping it out of the packets. I put it in this thing. I'll take 10 packets at a time or so. Put them in here. You guys ever seen Mr. Lid? Mr. Lid are these Tupperware dishes. That's all regular sea monkey growth food in there. Just easier to scoop out. You can see I got my yellow scoop spoon there. Well, anyway, Mr. Lids, they're like Tupperware, but the lids stay attached. I found these, I think, through an infomercial or something over 10 years ago. My wife and I threw out all the Tupperware in our kitchen, or we recycled it. Okay, we didn't throw it out. We recycled it. And we said, okay, from now on, only Mr. Lids, because they're great. They come in all shapes and sizes, and you never lose the lid. So you don't have to worry about losing the lids and worrying about what lids fit what containers. Fantastic. And it's good for sea monkey food. All right, so growth food. Now, on the Trans Science website, they've got some other sea monkey foods too. I buy 2 of them now. I used to buy 3, but I'm down to 2. So you got the grow quickly. So I don't know if this really works or if it's a mental thing in my head and I'm using it, and so subconsciously after I use it I look and see, are they growing faster, and I think they are. I don't know, but I think it works, so at least a little bit. So this is grow quickly. You can buy this from Trans Science website, and it's supposed to help those little runt sea monkeys that don't seem to be growing grow a little bit faster. That's pretty cool, right? So it's got a purpose, aside from the regular sea monkey food. It's got some sort of, real world purpose. You're feeding them this for a reason, as opposed to the regular growth food, right? So I buy this still. This is actually my last packet. I need some more. So next order to Trans Science, I'll be buying some more of this stuff. All right. I feed them this one too. Red Magic, Sea Monkey Vitamins. Have you guys seen this stuff? You can buy it from Trans Science as well. And this has got all the vitamins and nutrients they need. Read the back here. Let me focus it. There we go. And supposedly, if you feed them enough of this stuff, they'll get a little bit of a red tint to them. I've noticed that sometimes, but not always, I mean, they're eating other stuff too. They're eating algae that's growing in the tank. They're eating as gross as it sounds, the gunk that's at the bottom of the tank. I have seen some turn pinkish red, and I've seen some turn pink or red without even feeding them this stuff. But this food seems to have a purpose too. It's all the vitamins that they need. So it's got a purpose for their well-being. Now there's another one that's on the website. I've bought it in the past. I haven't recently though. Called a banana treat, called Sea Monkey Dessert. It's like, okay, it's not really made out of bananas. I'm 99% sure, and I don't see what the purpose is besides it's fun. It says sea monkeys love it. I don't think sea monkeys are bright enough to tell the difference between different foods and really taste it. I don't think they have tongues, right? I don't think they have taste buds. So I don't think they can tell. As if it's keeping them healthy, they're probably going to like it, right? As long as they're feeling good. So I don't see a purpose for that one as far as the sea monkey's well-being. If there is one, if anyone knows, let me know. And if you know the actual difference between any of these things, let me know. There's other ones too that used to be around. There used to be one called Sea Monkey Superfood. I swear I bought that when I was a kid. It was like the growth food, but better. That doesn't exist anymore. And I think I bought that once or twice when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, maybe 10 years old. So those are the sea monkey foods that I feed them. And it's probably 90% that regular growth food. And 10% of the time, I'll try the other ones if I think it might be good for them. Now, you probably see this stuff sitting here too. This is spirulina powder. I bought this on Amazon. This is a huge thing. It's 10 ounces. You can see how big that is compared to like one packet of sea monkey food. I mean, this is a thin packet. This is a pretty solid, huge container here. That'll last practically forever. But I was feeding them this for a while, just in my huge aquarium. The one that's right behind where we're shooting here. And I'll show you those guys in a couple minutes. And they did well with this. This seemed to promote excess algae growth in the tank, which can be good or bad, or both, really, depending on how you look at it. And so for the past couple months, I stopped feeding them this. When I restarted the big tank, you guys remember that a couple months ago? If not, go back and look at some of my previous videos. When I restarted the big tank, I stopped using this and was only feeding them Sea Monkey brand foods. And I changed that this week. So I had good success with this in the past, and I still got a bunch of it here. I paid the money for it already. And I noticed that in the big tank, babies weren't surviving as much as I'd like. Some are, which is great, but the percentage of babies that were reaching adulthood is smaller than I'd like, and I think we all know that percentage is typically small to begin with, right? If you've got 100 babies, if 10 of them make it to adulthood, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, I know that sounds sad, but it's true, right? But anything we can do to improve that, percentage, I think is a good thing. And I seem to have better luck when I was feeding them this in combination with the sea monkey foods. So that's what I've started doing again. About a week or two ago, I started doing that again. And now I'm seeing lots of babies in here still, even more babies. And I'm seeing more babies that are a little bit bigger. They're not just the newborn babies. They're ones that you look at and you're like, oh, that one's like a week and a half old probably. Which I think is good. They're getting bigger. And usually if they're getting to that stage, they're eating and they're surviving. That's good. So now what I'm doing is mixing the food from the Mr. Lid, the regular Sea Monkey growth food, with some of the spirulina powder inside this thing with the distilled water, shaking it up really good and squirting it in the tank. And then I sprinkle some of the powder on the top of the tank too, including, some of the spirulina powder and some of the regular growth food, or one of the other foods, if I decide I want to feed them that. That way you've got some that gets mixed in the water right away, and some that's sort of there for a little bit longer and takes a little bit of time to dissipate into the water for the sea monkeys to eat. And this seems to be working. We've got a lot of babies, like I mentioned, and they're getting a little bit bigger. So I'll show you those guys right now too. It's about 11:44 at night, so the tank lights are a little bit dim. I'll turn off the lights in the room here, and you guys can see them a little bit easier. Let's take a look. Hey Google, turn off the lights in this room. All right. Thank you.
You got it.
Take a look here. There's a lot of sea monkeys in here, right? I'll try to zoom in a little bit closer so hopefully you can see some of the babies. Because we've got a lot of them. You see that? See all those little tiny things? Those are all baby sea monkeys. There's a lot. And look how fast they're swimming. They're swimming really fast. And what I've noticed is when they're happier, which means they're healthier, they swim faster. If you ever see a sea monkey that's sort of swimming really, really sluggish and it's barely moving, but you see its little legs kicking a tiny bit, but it's going really, really slow, maybe sometimes down towards the bottom of the tank, well, I hate to say it, but that one's probably going to die. Yeah, it's sick and something's wrong. But when they're swimming faster, it means they're healthy and they're doing well. Look at all the babies up here. You can see some good algae growth. That's my heater in there, right there. You can see when the orange light there is on, it means it's heating the water. Looks like Hal, huh? Yeah. Look at all these babies. So I changed the feeding a little bit, and they seem to be doing better. You know, we've still got tons of algae growth in here. I mean, look at these guys. They're looking pretty gnarly. And these mushrooms that I thought were super cool now look like they're all covered in algae. They look different, huh? Pretty crazy. But yeah, they're doing well. So I've changed the way I feed them. Still feeding them lots of sea monkey food. It's about half sea monkey food and half of that spirulina powder now. And they're doing really well. But mixing the food with the water has always done well for me. That spirulina powder, man, look at all those babies. It's crazy. That spirulina powder is ultra, ultra fine too. You know, so it's easier to mix with the water, whether you're shaking it in a bottle like I am, or even if you're just sprinkling it in the aquarium, it's going to mix with the water in there easier. So that way the sea monkeys can eat it easier. It's a lot more of a fine powder than the sea monkey brand food. Think of it like powdered sugar, and the regular sea monkey food is like regular sugar, you know? Regular sea monkey food is finer than regular sugar, but it's the best analogy I could come up with. Alright, that's everything I wanted to show you guys today. These guys are still doing well. Hopefully you're still enjoying watching these videos, especially of this big aquarium. It's my favorite one and the one I record the most. So have a good night, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.